A massive winter storm is barreling toward the Northeast right now, and what's about to happen over the next 24 to 48 hours is something that meteorologists are calling historic. We're talking about a storm that could bury major cities under 1 to 2 feet of snow, with some spots potentially seeing close to 30 inches. And if you live anywhere from Maryland to Maine, you need to pay very close attention to what I'm about to tell you, because this storm is not playing around. Let me start with something that has literally never happened before. Every single county in the state of New Jersey is now under a blizzard warning. That has never occurred in recorded weather history. Think about that for a second. New Jersey has been through countless storms, countless nor'easters, and not once has the entire state been placed under a blizzard warning until right now. New York City is also under a blizzard warning for the first time in a decade. When you start hearing phrases like first time ever and first time in 10 years, you know you're dealing with something extraordinary. The watch and warning map across the Northeast right now is honestly staggering. Blizzard warnings stretch from every coastal county in Maine all the way down through Maryland and Delaware. This is one of the most expansive blizzard warning footprints we've seen in years, not just in the Northeast, but anywhere in the country. Winter storm warnings and advisories fill in the gaps across the interior, meaning virtually everyone in the Northeast is going to feel the impact of this storm in some way. Now let me walk you through what's actually happening right now and what's coming. Snow has already started falling across parts of the mid-Atlantic. Maryland, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey are all starting to see that transition into steady and increasingly heavy snowfall. There's a very narrow band right along the immediate coast of Maryland and New Jersey where there's been a brief mix of rain and snow, maybe even a little freezing rain, but that's going to push offshore within the next couple of hours. Once it does, it's all snow from there. The really important thing to understand about this storm is that what you're seeing right now is just the appetizer. The main course arrives tonight and peaks tomorrow morning. Right now, snowfall rates are hovering around an inch to maybe an inch and a half per hour in the heaviest bands. But as this system rapidly intensifies into what meteorologists call a bomb cyclone overnight, those rates are going to skyrocket. By early tomorrow morning, parts of Long Island and southern New England will be experiencing snowfall rates of 2 to 2.5 inches per hour. Near Cape Cod and southeastern Massachusetts, we could see absolutely insane rates approaching 3 to 3.5 inches of snow falling every single hour. That kind of intensity buries cars, blocks doors, and makes travel completely impossible within minutes. Let me break down the timeline for you so you know exactly when to expect the worst conditions in your area. This evening through about midnight, heavy snow is going to be the main story across the mid-Atlantic. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Dover, Delaware, Philadelphia, and most of New Jersey are going to be getting hammered. The heaviest snow bands will tend to favor the coastal areas, and this is actually a really important detail that's emerged in the last 12 to 24 hours. The models have shifted just slightly to the east compared to what they were showing a couple days ago. And when I say slightly, I mean we're talking about a difference of maybe 10 to 15 miles. But in a storm like this, that small shift can mean the difference between getting buried under 14 inches of snow or only seeing 4 inches. So if you live in the interior portions of the Northeast, away from the coast, there is a chance you end up on the lower end of the snowfall forecast. But if you're anywhere near the coast, you are going to get absolutely crushed. As we push into the overnight hours, the storm center is going to be rapidly deepening offshore. We're talking about a central pressure dropping to around 970 millibars by tomorrow, which is an incredibly powerful storm. To put it in perspective, that's the kind of pressure you'd see in a Category 1 or even a Category 2 hurricane. Obviously, this isn't a tropical system, but that gives you an idea of how intense the winds are going to be. This is a textbook bomb cyclone, a nor'easter on steroids. By the early morning hours on Monday, the heaviest snow will be shifting into southern New England. Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts are going to be in the bullseye for the most intense snowfall rates. Boston, Cape Cod, and Nantucket could see near zero visibility for extended periods. And when you combine snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour with wind gusts that could reach 60, 70, even close to 80 miles per hour in some spots, you're looking at absolute whiteout conditions. Driving will be impossible. Walking outside will be dangerous. This is the kind of storm where you stay inside, period. The wind situation deserves its own discussion because it's going to be a huge factor in this storm. Tonight, the coastal areas of New Jersey, Delaware, and eastern Maryland will see wind gusts climbing to 50 to 60 miles per hour. That alone would be enough to cause problems, but tomorrow morning is when things get truly extreme. Long Island, Cape Cod, Nantucket, and the surrounding coastal areas could see wind gusts approaching 70 to 80 miles per hour. Boston itself could easily hit 70-mile-per-hour gusts. Those kinds of winds combined with heavy, wet snow clinging to power lines and tree branches are a recipe for widespread power outages. And that brings me to one of my biggest concerns with this storm, beyond the snowfall totals. Power outages could be catastrophic across parts of the Northeast. The snow that's going to fall with this storm is on the wetter, heavier side, which means it's going to stick to everything. Tree limbs that are already stressed from the weight of the snow are going to get blasted by 60 to 80 mile-per-hour winds. Power lines are going to come down. And when power goes out in the middle of a blizzard with temperatures in the 20s and wind chills in the single digits, that becomes a life-threatening situation very quickly. Make sure you have flashlights, extra blankets, charged devices, and enough food and water to last a couple of days. Now let's talk actual snowfall numbers, because I know that's what everyone wants to hear. Looking at the National Weather Service forecast, there is a widespread area of 8 or more inches covering a massive swath of the Northeast. That zone includes areas near Washington, D.C., eastern Pennsylvania, all of New Jersey, Delaware, Connecticut, and basically all of southern New England up into southern Maine. Within that zone, there's a very large area expected to receive 12 to 24 inches. And yes, that includes major cities like Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, and Dover. Some areas are going to go well beyond 2 feet. Long Island and eastern New Jersey have the potential to see 24 inches or more. Southeastern Massachusetts, particularly around the Foxborough area south of Boston, could be looking at an absolute snowfall jackpot of 28 to potentially 30-plus inches. I am absolutely not ruling that out based on what the models are showing. Now, the model blend, which combines several different forecast models together, has pulled back just slightly on some of the highest totals for New Jersey and Long Island compared to what we were seeing yesterday. But let me be very clear about something. When I say it pulled back, we're still talking about 18 to 28 inches for most of those areas. That is still an enormous amount of snow. That's still a paralyzing, historic snowstorm. The fact that it dropped from maybe 30 inches to 24 inches in some spots doesn't change the overall impact one bit. Southern New England remains the area most likely to see the absolute highest totals. The models are in pretty good agreement that a zone stretching from southeastern Massachusetts through Rhode Island and into parts of Connecticut could see widespread totals of 20 to 30 inches. If you're in that zone and you haven't prepared yet, you are running out of time very fast. Looking at the back end of this storm, after sunrise on Monday, the snowfall rates will gradually start to decrease for most areas. We'll still see some lingering snow across southeastern New York, New Jersey, Long Island, and the Cape Cod region, but rates will drop to maybe half an inch per hour or less. By Monday afternoon, the snow will be winding down across most of the interior Northeast, though coastal areas will still be seeing some accumulation. And by Monday evening, the storm will be pulling away, leaving behind just a few scattered snow showers. But here's the thing, even after the snow stops falling, the problems aren't over. The wind is going to continue blowing well into Tuesday, which means significant drifting and blowing snow that will reduce visibility and make road clearing incredibly difficult. I would not be surprised at all if schools are canceled Monday, Tuesday, and potentially even Wednesday in some areas, especially if power outages are as widespread as I think they're going to be. One more thing I want to mention that's separate from this nor'easter. There's a pretty significant lake effect snow event developing tonight and into tomorrow across far northwestern Indiana. Some spots in that region could pick up over a foot of snow as cold air wraps around the backside of this massive storm system. So if you're in northwestern Indiana or extreme southwestern Michigan, keep that on your radar as well. The bottom line here is simple. If you're in the Northeast, particularly anywhere along the coast from Maryland to Maine, this is going to be one of the most impactful winter storms in recent memory. The combination of heavy snow totals, extreme wind gusts, potential for widespread power outages, and blizzard conditions makes this a very dangerous situation. Don't take this storm lightly. Get your preparations done now if you haven't already. Stock up on essentials, charge your devices, and plan on staying home for at least the next 24 to 36 hours. We're going to be covering this storm in real time with live updates tonight and tomorrow, going into much more detail about specific cities and neighborhoods. If you want to know exactly what your area is going to see, make sure to check those out. We'll be breaking down the forecast hour by hour and answering questions as they come in. This is the kind of storm you'll be telling people about for years, so let's make sure everyone stays safe through it. Stay warm, stay inside, and stay informed. This one is going to be a beast.